Well, people, it's happened. Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down from Lucasfilms, with Dave Filoni leading as the new president and Lin Brennan as the co-president. I was making a video of the rumors that were going around because every year there's new rumors, and I was trying to go through of like, oh, is really anything going to change? And the announcement crossed literally just 2 days ago that Lucasfilm is having Kathleen Kennedy step down, but not go away completely because we can see here she's going to return to full time producing while Dave Filoni and Lewin Brennan lead the company. Isn't that encouraging? Now, most of this article is just people quoting on how Kathleen has been an influence on them and how great she's been in her role and the great success she's had, despite the last movie being The Rise of Skywalker, making $1 billion. But when the numbers came out, Disney lost money at over a $600,000 budget before marketing even hits. So no matter what, it's 600,000 even with the tax benefits from the UK, 600 up $1 billion. You take half of that for the theaters, they still lost a ton of money. And she had Solo, the first Star Wars ever flop. But I do have to say, one of the funniest quotes is from Filoni saying, "My love of storytelling was shaped by the films of Kathleen Kennedy and George Lucas." So the films were mainly George Lucas, with Kathleen helping. Then goes into, "I've never dreamt to be privileged to learn the craft of filmmaking from both of them. From Rey to Grogu, what a title. From the least liked characters in Star Wars to what everyone has realized is just a cash grab with that's just Baby Yoda." So, and what a great title to be like, I had Star Wars, I had a trilogy movie, I've had spin off movies, but Rey and Grogu is what I've learned from. It's also kind of interesting that Filoni is saying, yeah, this shaped my storytelling. And this is what I found inspirational. And names the two most uninspired characters in Star Wars. So as the article continues, it kind of goes into the backstory behind Filoni and Brennan. And Filoni is like, he's joined in '05. He was a big help in their animation studio. Then we started co-writing with Lucas and the Clone Wars, Rebels. Started writing The Mandalorian, including season 3, which bombed. Ahsoka, which really bad, has a very much a and then kind of storytelling with nonsensical kind of parts throughout the whole thing, and a lot of staring off into scenery for 20 seconds, going, ah, doesn't that CGI look good? Now, while it doesn't directly put him there, the Acolyte and Obi-Wan said he was a big help in their boardrooms while they were going through the story and getting the approval of it. Because before he he's the president now, but before that, he was the co-leading creative. Everything had to get approved of him. So everything we've seen Star Wars do, we've hated, Filoni had at some level say yes to it. Maybe on the spot there were small changes that we didn't like, or a cameo or two that was put there that he really wasn't informed of. But the whole show, the Acolyte, the show that it's like, Jedi are evil, space witches are good, and the dark side is the side where everyone should want to be in life. Filoni approved of it. Just the overall story he approved. And it's like, oh, cool. That doesn't help us. And now he's leading the return to film, the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, with Kathleen Kennedy producing it. Now they're leading the return to film with the Mandalorian and Grogu, with Filoni as the head, Brennan as the co-president. Kennedy is going to be the producer, and Jon Favreau is the director. And we're really going to see, can they make it? I doubt it. All 4 of those people I just named are all key parts to the Disney TV shows that kind of killed the brand. And a lot of the creative decisions that went into some of the worst decisions we'd seen in Star Wars. So that's Filoni, which, as being the creative lead, he would have had a part in every show, and including the ones that people like to say, oh no, he must have not known. No, he knew, and he approved of it. Brennan has been at Lucasfilm since '99. Now, there's very little on her because she's not a producer. She wasn't a writer. She's kind of has just done the back work. So she's specializing in their HR, in their finances, and in their legal departments. And I don't know if that approves of someone to be a co-president to a company whose job is to tell stories when you never told a story. And that might be a little more subjective because it is a co-president, not the president. But it's if your company's based on making movies and you've never made a movie or even been a part of it, you don't have to make the movie. You were a writer or you were a director or a producer and you weren't the one who did it all. Okay, that's fine. She's done none of that. In fact, the only thing that I could find was she has some visual effects, which is kind of just like right here, a few other small projects that nothing really been major. Kathleen's gone, and she'll be stay gone, but she'll still be a producer, and that's what we can see here. And it's just kind of the ends. It's just like, oh yeah, she had wrote like she was part of the Rogue One. We did really well with The Mandalorian as well. Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, and all these popular animated shows, which they're not that popular. I don't hear anyone ever telling me on how Star Wars Visions is the newest form of Star Wars. I hear people talk about Bad Batch when it first came out, not the season two. Heard most of the other people talk about a lot of their animated, like Resistance, I believe was one. It's somewhere up here that was like, oh, it's won awards, and I've heard of it once. But so these are our two new leaders of Star Wars. Unfortunately, I don't think they have it cut out for them. Star Wars is a brand is the most of a zombie film I've ever kind of seen, and that's because we're still producing stuff. Three films have bombed. Tons of TV shows have collapsed under their own weight and budget. We see Acolyte actually having to be told they're canceled, with almost 10 movies or so being approved but nothing worked on, except the Mandalorian Grogu movie that's coming out. And this article makes a really interesting point of Star Wars Starfighter. Apparently that movie's coming out either this year or next. I never heard of anyone talk about it. I have no idea what it's about, nor do I 100% care. I'll review it. But as a Star Wars fan who actually liked Disney's takeover, I'm kind of just worn out. I kind of wish they would just stop, clean house, just reset, go through. Because we already see that we're going to have another going through, choosing what's canon, what's not. Because everything is kind of destroyed. Because Disney walked into this without a plan, and Kathleen Kennedy was just like, oh, I don't need a plan to make money at Star Wars. Star Wars just makes money. And obviously that's not true. That would never be true to any film or any movie that you can just produce infinite movies to make infinite money. It might feel like it at first, but we see that with Marvel. We see it with Star Wars. We see it with Star Trek, which is more TV shows, but there's no brand that can last for infinite if you just keep producing the same tired stuff that no one wants to see. So sorry about this video being a little more of me just kind of reading the article than editing. I was making a video, but then I have some allergies kicked up from the winter, going from hot to cold, cold to hot where I'm living. So I took a little break then just to see the announcement that she's gone. And that it wasn't a rumor at all. That the Walt Disney Company has in fact moved leadership from Kathleen Kennedy to Filoni. We'll see you guys later. Thank you.
Then this is a day of independence for all the Munchkins and their descendants, if any. Yes, let the joyous news be spread. The wicked old witch at last is dead. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Which, oh, witch?